Welcome back to Royal Bank Magic on Ice and the World Pro Championships from Washington, D.C. It's the technical programs, and in the dance competition, the leaders are the defending champions.
Well, Elizabeth Punslin and Jared Swallow look very smooth and maybe the most composed of the three teams in this competition. Maya Zova and Evgeny Platov were a little disappointed with their marks and are currently third, while Angelika Krylova and Oleg Ovsyannikov maybe didn't have the speed and flow that we've seen from them in the past, but it was good enough for second place.
Sandra, different story in the men's event. The defending champion, Alexei Urmanov, is fourth.
He ran out of steam in the technical competition, and I think it's because he hasn't had a lot of mileage this year. He hasn't competed a lot, and that has shown in his performance. Philippe Candeloro, however, has been amazing. He's decided that he's going to win this event, and he went out in a very businesslike way and landed all his triples, and he's in the lead.
Let's turn our attention now to the women's event, and unfortunately the defending champion Tara Lipinski had to withdraw from this event. Yuka Sato is the only past winner who's entered.
That's right. Tara withdrew because she's recovering from hip surgery that she had earlier this fall. But Yuka now has a very good chance of winning this title again. She's won it here before. She is the most well-balanced artistically and technically of all the skaters here.
In the pairs event, a surprise winner last year, Leonova and Havolko, and I think people are wondering, can they do it again?
Well, they've looked very good in practice, but it's interesting to note that they haven't competed since this very event 1 year ago. They've got some good competition, and that Jenny Mino and Todd Sand make their first appearance here at World Pro, as well as the current Olympic champions Artur Dmitriev and Oksana Kazakova.
Well, we're ready for the pairs event, and here are the entries as we get set for the technical programs. Like the ice dance competition, we have defending champions Leonova and Volko, new entries Mino and Sand, and former champions Oksana Kazakova and Artur Dmitriev. But first to skate are the defending champions Elena Leonova and Andrei Havolko, who never competed as amateurs, and they said last year winning meant acceptance in the skating community.
Their victory here last year also marked the last time they've competed. So tonight, it represents a situation for them where they get back out in front of an audience, back out in front of judges, and hopefully deal with the nervousness that accompanies that situation.
This is the program that they skated last year, and that should help their comfort level. They opened with the triple twist. Nice. The deciding factor in a pairs event is the throw. There's the throw double axel. Beautiful, and followed by side-by-side double axels. Perfect.
These two did not compete as a pair as eligible skaters, and yet as professionals, it's great to see them become such a solid team, not only from their ability to execute, but the technique that they display is really textbook.
they certainly took the road less traveled to the professional ranks, but appear to be on track to defend their title. Elena Leonova and Andre Havolko.
And certainly adhering to the school of thought, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This was the technical program, yes, and in it they included all of the things you expect to see from a good pair team. Excellent throw double axel, no hesitation, no doubt that she was going to hit the landing of that throw. And through the program, we saw side-by-side jumps, side-by-side spins, pair spins, death spirals, everything that you would expect to see, they delivered.
And as you said, Paul, their technique is unbelievable. It is textbook perfect with every single thing that they do. The deliberate moves, the confidence, the strength is just wonderful.
They have been skating together since 1995, were married in 97. And the technical excellence reflected, and remember, they're the first to skate.
I was going to say, that's a real strong vote of confidence because it's going to take a perfect 10 to beat that performance.
Artistic marks.
These have dropped because there is not a whole lot of choreographic detail in between all these tricks.
Nevertheless, an impressive total of 78.7. Here are the three-time U.S. champions, Jenny Mino and Todd Sand. They were forced to sit out last year competitively. Todd with 2 operations on his knee, but now making their World Pro debut.
Jenny and Todd are nervous about this event. They have not had any experience competing as professionals, although they've had tons of experience as amateurs. But being out here, full house lights, after skating on the road in shows for the last 3 years is quite unnerving. They opened with their side-by-side double axels.
as they reach the podium at the World Amateur level, making their debut here at the World Pros, Jenny Mino and Todd Sand.
They had the mistake on the side-by-side jump, but overall a pretty decent performance for these two, considering it is their first appearance here at World Pro. This is the mistake. Side-by-side double axel, Jenny simply doesn't get enough height to afford her the hang time to get on the landing properly.
And as you said, Paul, before, when you know your partner's having a problem, you sometimes forget to think about yourself. But they did recover well with this beautiful throw double axel. However, overall, although they have strong elements, they are not as strong as Leonova and Hvalco.
I find with Jenny and Todd, this team hasn't ever been afforded the opportunity to get into a real groove. It seems like every other time we turn around, Todd's got an injury. Chris, you mentioned the knee surgery, but he's also been plagued by back problems over the course of their career. They just never have been able to hit their stride.
And those technical marks certainly don't match Leonova and Hvalco. You see their coach, John Nix, who has been with them for their 8 years together. And the artistic marks are 7s and 8s. And that will give Mino and Sand a total score of 77.7. Last to skate their technical program in the pairs competition, the Olympic champions from Nagano, Oksana Kazakova and Artur Dmitriev, in a comeback of sorts here in their final stop of last year's tour. Oksana suffered a concussion, 5 months off the ice with post-concussion syndrome, and so this is their first competition of this season.
And they are also skating the program they performed last year.
But given the fact that they've had such a long time off the ice, they've taken a very aggressive approach.
Just like last year, they're hoping to make history with this performance by being the first pair ever to land the quad throw. They almost did it last year, and here it is.
Well, it certainly had the height. She was leaning as she was traveling through the air, but there was no doubt that there was sufficient time in the air to get the element done.
Are you surprised they try that based on the history of this couple in the last 6 months?
I'm surprised, but it was evident from the moment they got here on practice. They were practicing them on a consistent basis, had some degree of success with it, and felt good enough to go for it.
Side-by-side double axels. A little wacky. Just like last year, I think that putting all the effort onto the quad has affected the rest of the performance. That's the risk you take. Oh.
Things are coming unraveled very quickly here. Aside from the glaring errors that have occurred so far in this program, there have been a number of smaller errors that just demonstrate that they have not been putting in the quality time together to keep something as basic as the unison and the flow of the program happening.
When a couple is really on, there's there's a wordless communication. You know exactly where each other's bodies are all the time. And because they've been off the ice for 5 months, just as you said, Paul, it's clear that they're not in sync at all.
So not the championship form that they exhibited when they won this competition 2 years ago. Oksana Kazakova and Artur Dimitriev.
Well, it's frustrating as a skater when you're put into a situation where, due to injury, you're unable to skate. It's probably the most difficult thing for an athlete to deal with.
But the quad attempt, pretty close. It was slightly under-rotated. She had enough height, but there was the lean. But they were not able to recover from that. The side-by-side double axels were out of control.
Again, when you're playing catch-up because of all the injuries, why such a high-risk maneuver?
When you're conditioned as these two athletes are, these are Olympic champions. They know what they're capable of. They're used to pushing the envelope, and they feel probably, why should it change now? I can still do that. I can still pull that off.
And they've won enough titles in their competition that they really didn't need another one, and it was worth the risk.
It's interesting. She wanted to continue as an eligible skater in competition, and Artur at 32 said, I'm too old for that.
32 and 2 Olympic titles.
Right. The only man to win 2 Olympic titles with 2 different partners. Here, though, 77.6 for Kazakova and Dimitriev. And that will put them in 3rd place in this three-pair competition. The leaders, the defending champions, Leonova and Ivalko.
This is your 4th appearance here. Have things changed a lot since you first appeared at this competition?
Yes, definitely. When the first time we stepped on this ice, it was a big surprise we've been invited for this competition. And we really not, we don't have any confidence that time. We came here just to be able to skate on the ice, you know, in front of all these people, to skate with such great skaters together. That was the first appearance here. The second appearance was like kind of getting used to the competition. And last year and this year we keep bringing more confidence to us. So right now we're really going there. We really enjoyed today's skating. Even we skate first, which is hard, we still really enjoy to do that.
Like Saria and the other competitors here, she did not have a storied amateur career. In fact, 13th at the Worlds 2 years ago, and yet always an enjoyable skater to watch.
Well, it seems to be that of late, the Swiss have produced some of the finest spinners our sport has ever seen. Go back to Denise Bielmann, who's been victorious at this event a number of years, Natalie Craig, another young skater, and Lucinda, all seem to have mastered the art. It is an art of spinning.
Lucinda actually learned her technique in Japan. Her coach is Yuka Sato's father. Unfortunately, where Lucinda has always been weak has been with her jumps, and that is why she's never been anything higher than 13th at the World Championships. However, her spinning is completely glorious.
positions obtained during that spin. And of all the skaters who compete here, watching backstage, she probably had the most extensive warm-up of any of them.
She's so excited and nervous to be here too, because for her, making a mark at this event could lead to a very successful professional career.
She will need more than single loops, though. Famous by her fellow countryman, Denise Bielman.
Just another indication of why we enjoyed her so much as an amateur, even when she didn't produce great amateur results.
And the audience is on their feet.
She has such a wonderful lyrical quality about her that just seems to draw you in, make you feel like you're a part of the whole performance.
And what is magnificent about her spins, not only the technique, because as you can see, she stays in one spot, which is called centering, and that's why she's able to spin so long. But it's these positions that she's developed herself, and she's used this long, beautiful body to advantage to create just some beautiful, beautiful moments. Inspired.
I guess an observer's question would be, are spins undervalued in skating today?
Of course they are. We always concentrate on jumps, jumps, jumps. But I think for many of the people here, and also this panel of judges, these spins are going to mean a lot, particularly in the second mark.
7 and 8's not enough for the fans here, and look at this. Janet Lynn with a 10, and a 10 from the French judge. One will count. 10. And the crowd certainly likes that. And what a debut for Lucinda Roux, 78.4. And there's, well, we mentioned Lucinda Roux was coached by Yuka Sato's father, and it's been like a sisterly reunion here in Washington. These two grew up together. Yuka, of course, with a far more impressive resume. World champion in 94 and the world pro champ in 95.
Take my hand and show me where we're going. Lie down next to me, look into my eyes, and tell me what you're seeing.
Fabulous opening triple loop jump.
Yuka's got it all. Beautiful skating quality, edge quality, nice jumping technique, and strong spins.
Take my hand,
the landing of that triple sow cow. But every skater has to find a look, an image that works for them. And for Yuka, it's great to see such a classical look from the brilliant white skates, no tights pulled over the top of them, just a quintessential ladies look on the ice.
Well, I know you two sensed that she was the favorite coming in, and she certainly lived up to that unofficial billing in this performance. Yuka Sato.
I think she's in a class by herself here. She's given us everything. Beautiful jumps, this gorgeous triple loop that she opened with. But she has a sense of freedom and joy when she skates. It makes us want to feel that, too. It gives us that feeling.
Sandra, you mentioned that she gives us it all. And when someone says what makes for a successful skater, you can't just say, well, you have to have good jumps or you have to have good spins. You have to deliver it all. You have to demonstrate that you have mastered all of the skills and put them into a harmonious package.
With passion.
There's her husband and sometimes pairs partner, Jason Dungeon. And great technical marks, as you would have expected.
9.9, 9.8, 9.8. The artistic marks, 9.9.
And now the artistic marks, the same range.
9.9.
No 10s, though.
9.8. 9.9.
But she'll be happy with that. Total score of 78.7. She's the leader. One more skater to go, and that is one of the new professionals, Nicole Bobek, who was a bronze medalist in '95, a U.S. champion. In some sense that maybe she'll enjoy even more success as a professional.
She certainly has the looks and the charisma to perform as a successful professional, but she has to realize that things don't change in terms of the expectations of what you're expected to deliver. She struggled somewhat as an amateur in executing the jumps. She has to realize that it's expected here as well.
However, she's arrived here looking great. She's fit, she's trained. This is a charming program. She's been skating so well in practice. She opens up with a triple Lutz. Very nice. She seems to have a new sense of focus since turning professional.
Money makes the world go round, the world go round, the world go round. Money makes the world go round, it makes the world go round. A marker in a buck or a pound is all that makes the world go round. And clinking, clunking sound that makes the world go round. Money, 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 money. You have to understand the way I am, mein Herr. A tiger is a tiger, not a lamb, mein Herr. You'll never turn the vinegar to jam, mein Herr. So I do what I do.
things are going so well.
And she'd already done that jump once already in the program without any difficulty.
She didn't need it.
Don't dab your eye, mine hair, or wonder why mine hair. I've always said that I was a rover. You mustn't knit your brow. You should have known by now. You've every cause to doubt me, mine hair. Mine hair, mine hair, mine hair, and for five. Get me full, mine hair, full, mine hair. Don't make me birthday and mine hair. Bye bye, mine hair.
Now living and training in Florida for U.S. champion Nicole Bobek.
Before you can be considered to win a championship, you have to demonstrate that you want to win the championship. I think we saw that in the technical program. Felipe Candelario, he came out and did it and said, there, that's it. Nicole didn't do that. She had the mistake. There was the first double toe, very well done, but then she attempted it the second time and missed it. And you don't give the impression that you want to win when you have a mistake like that.
This has been one of her better performances, though, and I liked the program a lot. I thought it was a good choice for her. I liked the detail, and I think everybody here sometimes would like to give the judges a raspberry, as she did.
9.7, 9.8.
Well, 7s and 8s for technical.
9.8.
Looked like she wanted to give herself a little kick after that was over. Because it could have been that much better. 8s and 9s, so
This
obviously
program deserves that.
judges certainly agree. So not a bad World Pro debut, 78.5. And Nicole gets the crowd going as she moves into second place. Yuka Sato's the leader, then Bobek, Lucinda Rue, and Saria Bondley.
Yuka, this is your 5th appearance here. You won this event in '95. It looks like you'll lead after this first night's performance. Must feel pretty good.
Well, I think it was, I had a good time out there, and I was a little bit uptight, and my legs were getting tired towards the end, but I feel like I could just get through it, and I'm very happy about it, and also looking forward to skate to the second number.
The second number is more heavily weighted than the first number. Is that in your favor?
I think it is for my favor. I just want to enjoy every single moment when I'm out there, and if I can do that, I think it's possible for me to win the title again.
Welcome back to Washington as we wrap up our first night of coverage of the World Professional Figure Skating Championships on Royal Bank Magic on Ice, and where Yuka Sato is the leader in the women's event after the technical program.
Yuka skated beautifully, and I think this panel of judges really appreciates the fact that she's strong both artistically and technically. However, her job is not done yet because Nicole Bobek is in second, and although she didn't skate well in this event, she has been training very hard. She looks great, and I think she's going to give Yuka a run for her money.
And Paul, in the pairs competition, it appears that Leonova and Havalko are determined to put their name on this event again.
They had maybe the most convincing win of all the disciplines here this evening. They looked fantastic given the fact that they haven't competed for over 1 year. Jenny Mino and Todd Sand didn't look comfortable in their debut here, and Oksana and Artur went for the quad, missed it, and are currently third.
And a reminder that the other leaders are Punselin and Swallow. In the dance competition, Philippe Candelaro of France is the leader in the men's event, and we hope... We're ready for another star-studded evening of skating from the MCI Center as the world's best pros vie for $400,000 in prize money. Good evening and welcome to our second night of coverage from the World Professional Figure Skating Championships in Washington, D.C. on Royal Bank Magic on Ice. I'm Chris Cuthbert with Sandra Bezic and Paul Martini. Tonight, the artistic programs were 60% of the final mark. And Sandra, you talked about the professional judging panel. What are they looking for tonight?
Well, first of all, at this event, there are absolutely no rules, which means that the skaters can present whatever they like. Sometimes that lends itself to creative genius, and sometimes it lends itself to numbers that are completely over the top. What the judges and audience are looking for here, however, is equal parts artistry, technical ability, and entertainment.
Paul Martini and Barbara Underhill had that winning formula 7 times at this competition. Paul, talk to us about the adjustment the skaters make from the technical program to tonight's artistic program.
In the technical program, the skaters had the luxury of skating in full house lights. They knew where they were in the rink. They knew where the ice was. Tonight's a little different. We've got theatrical lighting. It's going to be significantly darker in here. But for all of these skaters, it's going to be those who emotionally grab the judges and the audience. They're going to have the edge.
And we'll also see some props.
In the dance event, we're going to see it right off the top. Huntfield and Swallow are leading, but it's somewhat coincidental that all 3 dance teams are going to use a scarf in some fashion during their performance, and we'll see who uses it best.
Well, we begin with the dance event, and here are the standings after the technical programs. The defending champions for the United States have the lead. Krylova and Ovsyannikov are in second place, Susova and Platov third. But again, in a 3-team competition, whoever wins tonight will win gold. Maya Usova and Evgeny Platov a little disappointed with their total score after the technical program.
Well, they were a little upset as they left the ice surface after that technical program, but from these first few notes, you know very well the music is from Carmen, and given the creative talents of these two, we'll see what rendition of it they deliver here tonight.
in their third year as a team, the 98 World Pro Champions, Maya Usova and Evgeny Platov.
After their technical program, we were somewhat critical of what the content of the program was between the various moves that were executed. I fear they've made the same critical error 2 consecutive programs in a row.
Because they concentrated so much on using the cape, in actual fact, most of the number was on 2 feet, just gliding around. It was dramatic and enjoyable to watch, and they're both very attractive, and it's always an interesting story, Carmen. But in a competitive venue, there really was not a whole lot to judge.
We can sit here and try to be as objective as possible, but when you're ringside, as the judges are, as the audience is, and for the judges, it's going to be up to them to decide and evaluate what the program was really, truly worth.
Something interesting about having Paul Duchesne on the judging panel, too, after all his years of knocking heads with the judges. He went 9-8, and so did everyone else for technical merit. Paul, the judge from France, and the judges liked it rather well. 9-8s and 9-9s, and a total score of 196.1 for Usova Platov. Krylova and Ovsyannikov twice. Here are the Olympic silver medalists from Nagano, Krylova and Ovsyannikov, in second place after the technical program, a tentative performance by them. Remember, they were out of competition all last year because of back problems that she has suffered with and appear to still have.
When you see her walk backstage, she doesn't walk perfectly straight. She still is not completely over this injury, and it obviously still bothers her. Great opening here.
They are Cleopatra and Caesar.
world champions in their first World Professional Championship, Angelika Krylova and Oleg Ovsyannikov.
Well, their debut here has certainly been solid. They may not be carrying the speed and flow that they became known for as two-time world champions, but a program which was high energy, very dramatic, and most entertaining.
The use of the prop was more effective than Maya and Yevgeny as well. I felt that they worked it into the choreography, and then letting go of it in this situation I think was a good idea, because then they were able to show their skating skills as well.
They have been in the unusual circumstance of having to train apart because of her injury for much of the preparation for this. That has to be difficult for a dance team. Technical marks, mostly 9s from the judges.
They should be pleased with this performance. Being here has meant a lot to them, and the first step back to establishing a career.
Oh, we mentioned the other night that a lot of people in the skating community thought their career might be over. A 10 from Bernard Ford, the judge from Great Britain. That's the high score that will be left off, but a fine total of 196.3. And now the defending champions and the leaders after the technical program. Here are Elizabeth Punslin and Jared Swallow.
Well, there's always that sense of fear and apprehension when you skate after a 10 or a perfect mark comes up in a competition that can really add to the pressure.
quest of their second consecutive World Pro title, the husband-wife team of Elizabeth Punsalan and Jared Swallow.
The reason Liz and Jared have become the most successful professional dance team is that they have never used theatrics alone for effect only. They have always combined theatrical flair with quality skating and detailed choreography.
Well, I like the fact that the simple and subtle use of the proper in this program was the most effective of the three. During the skating portion of the performance, it's an integral part of what you're watching.
Will it be enough? Technical marks right across the board, 9 nines. You think all the dancers cringed when they saw that similar props were being used?
Sort of like showing up at a party wearing the same dress, don't you think?
Artistic marks. Well, there isn't a 10, but again, pretty well all 9 nines. And Punsalan and Swallow have a total of 197.4, and they will repeat as World Pro champions. Something they never accomplished as amateurs, but they outdistanced Krylova and Ovsyannikov for the win.
Elizabeth, Jared, your second consecutive title. You become one of only 4 teams to ever win 2 consecutive titles here. Your thoughts?
Well, I don't think it ever gets any easier. I mean, every time we compete, we feel like we've been through the ritual before, but it always is something new. And these programs that we've done at this championship were both challenging for us, and I think that's what helped pay off. I think with each year we expect the competition to be strong, and just work from that standpoint. Just trying to make the most complicated and interesting programs that we can every year, and to try to continue to push our envelope as far as we can, because we feel we still have more to offer in the sport.
Candelaro. And tonight they'll skate in reverse order of standings, which means the defending champion, Alexei Urmanov, will be first to skate. And rather disappointed with his 4th place performance in the technical program. The Prince of Egypt.
Alexei struggled in the technical program with having a feel for just where he was in the rink. Got close to the boards a couple of times. We'll see how he does here. Double axel to open the program.
Alexei is as well known for his costumes as for his skating ability, and I think the reason he has always chosen some pretty outrageous things to wear is because for many Russians their place of reference is the Bolshoi and the theater, and for us, for our culture, it seems silly to be wearing this kind of costume because we relate more to the pop culture.
And I thought it was a tribute to Madonna's wedding. the 1994 Olympic champion and the defending World Pro champion, Alexei Urmanov.
His mood will certainly be much better after this skate than it was after the technical program. 3 solid triple jumps in this program. Looked like he may have liked to have had a triple axel off the top, but certainly a much more composed, much more controlled performance for Alexei this evening.
He did a great job, but I have been completely distracted by his costume. And it seems like at these events, when there are no rules, the skaters are often like kids in toy stores to see how many props and things they can play with. And I think perhaps after watching 3 dance teams also using props, it seems like that is the motivation for everyone right now.
The technical marks for Alexei Urmanov.
Gained 4th after the technical program. Technical marks range from 9.7 to 9.9. Throw those out. And the rest of the marks are 9.8.
Yeah, he really dug himself a hole the other night coming into this final with only 77.6 points. It's going to make it tough for him to move up.
And it was his first event of the year. Got off to a slow start. Better here, but probably not enough to defend his title. Well, from one Olympic champion to another. Here's Ilya Kulik, who is in 3rd place, and we have seen this program once this season. Very interesting, and let's see how it is developed. It's an interesting program because it was choreographed by Kulik.
Speaking of toys, Ilya is a broken toy, an action figure. So watch these moves.
First jump, a triple lutz.
Double.
We talked off the top of the show about the challenges of skating in a situation where the house lights have gone to theatrical lighting. He's compounded that by putting on a pair of sunglasses.
What I appreciate about this program is every single note is choreographed.
Again, jump that should have been a triple turned into a double.
Very difficult step.
Well, Sandra, you mentioned he was portraying a broken action figure. I don't know if he was so much broken as he just needed a new set of energizers to get the triple jumps in. Because other than that, the program was excellent in terms of its delivery. And I've seen this program earlier in the year, as you mentioned, Chris. The ISU Open panel didn't know what to do with this program, but I hope it gets rewarded artistically because it was brilliant.
And it's unfortunate he didn't do the jumps because this was a great program, but it looked like he was uncomfortable. Watch this spin. He invented that move himself. But he did look uncomfortable out there because he didn't even try to do the triples. And I think because of the sunglasses and the dark lighting, he just couldn't see. And he concentrated on the program, though, and look at everything. It's great. It's just great, and it's fresh, and it's new. We haven't seen anything like this before. And he should be really, really pleased.
And from my perspective, it plays even better the second time.
The judges had no choice but to mark him down technically. He did no jumps at all.
Wowed us with his sheer skating brilliance in Nagano, and he's still pushing the envelope with his innovative creations here.
There you go.
They're the artistic marks you'd expect.
9.9.
So we haven't heard the last from Ilya Kulik, even if he will not be a winner here at this championship. Welcome back to the World Pros. We continue with the men's competition. Rudy Galindo of the United States, second after the technical program, looking for his first World Pro title.
Commented already about how dark the room is, but I can't believe he's about to try this triple axel in this much light.
Almost. Aside from his costume, this is one of Rudy's more conservative numbers, To Colors of the Wind.
Might have missed the triple axel, but comes back with a solid triple loop.
I think if Rudy was hoping to win this competition and beat Philippe, he needed to do something that we're more used to, something more energetic to get the audience going, because in a number like this, you really can't make a mistake, and he's already done that.
Well, certainly a beautiful program, well skated. His only mistake was stepping out of the triple axel. But Sandra, I agree with you in that to win this competition, one has to come out with something that is unique, special, and you're missing a golden opportunity if you don't deliver some content that really engages the audience here. This is the one mistake, two-footed on the landing of the triple axel. He spins out of it to hang on.
What this number did do, though, was remind us that there is quality in Rudy's skating.
Well, he made no other mistake. All the triples that he did subsequent to the triple axel were all very well done.
And some beautiful spins as well.
There's his sister Laura and his niece Marina.
9.9.
Solid technical marks, but he didn't go to his strength, which is winning over the crowd quickly. Felipe Candelero getting set.
The artistic
And
mark.
now the second set of marks for Rudy Galindo. 9.7 from Janet Lynn. That will be thrown out with a 9.9.
There's certainly room above that.
9.8.
And a 195.9 puts Galindo in first place, but Felipe Candelero now has a chance for his first World Pro title. We mentioned it prior to his technical program. He came here quite open about the fact he wanted to win here. Some people know how to make an entrance, and Felipe just brings one.
And this is inspired by Will Smith's Wild West video. And it's not an exercise in less is more. Now, Felipe has a way of engaging the audience. He was concerned about this number because he's only done it once before, and he says he's had so many complicated costume changes that that's what he's nervous about, not the skating content. He opens with a triple lutz and hangs on.
Running the game, James West, same in the West, so remember the name. Now you gonna call. Now you gonna call. Once upon a time in the West, madman lost his damn mind in the West. Loveless, getting up and down, nothing less. Now I must put it behind through the test, then through the shadows, in the saddle, ready for battle. Bring all your poison, and come to poison. Behind my back, all everything you did, front and center. Now when you look back, you know. When I roll into the when I stroke into the when I bounce into the can't stop the fun.
To say that this program contains more than just all show and no go.
He's already done more difficult tricks than anyone else here, just with those 3 jumps.
Oops, oops. This is just not working back here.
no.
He was quick on the draw, but
that's-
apparently not a
that's-
quick changer.
He's got to catch up to his music now.
I bet that was...
Hardly worth the effort of putting it on.
I'd be willing to bet an IATSE stagehand would have had that much trouble with the change.
There's more. Oh. Now he had intended to rope a judge, but referee Carrie Leach would not allow that to happen, so they had a stand-in woman there.
He just missed Carrie. Carrie was right beside.
And on a score of 1 to 10, where are we putting that, ladies and gentlemen?
Sandra, you said there were no rules and no time limits, and he was going to keep skating until he got his first World Pro title. Will that be enough?
Well, he made his point technically. He did not let that escape him. And he is completely charming. The audience loves him. They eat it up.
But the fact of the issue is this where we collectively should all be going in the sport today?
That was from Act 2.
I think that there will always be skaters who give us this kind of entertainment, but what is happening in this event is that almost everyone is coming up with some sort of gimmick or some sort of prop, and what it does is really dissipate the effect of all of them.
9.9.
8s and 9s as Galindo looks on, and I think he sees the writing on the wall. Artistic marks, Janet Lynn 9-7, another 9-7, but there are 9-9s, and the total score 196.6, so he makes good on his word. Felipe Candelario is the World Pro Champion. He never was an amateur world champion, but he has won the World Pros ahead of Galindo with Kulik third.
Congratulations, your first World Championship title. How does it make you feel?
Well, I have to realize first, because I don't right now. And, you know, I would like to do a much better this second number, but it was the first time, and I think I need a little bit more work on it. And it's going to be a very great number for the American and Canadian audience.
Speaking of this number, it's an enjoyable number to watch. It must be fun for you to skate. How much fun is it to put a program like this together?
Well, this is the difficulties tonight. I have no chance to do any fault. So, but I did great because I tried triple in the program, and I think it saved my life tonight. So I'm very happy to finish the season and the 2000 year with this title because it's my first gold winning. So I have to celebrate this, and I dedicate this winning to my family, my little daughter Luna, and my wife, of course, and my coach and every family. They help for me.
Pairs on warm-up, Leonova and Hvalco, the defending champions, are the leaders. Then it's Mino and Sand of the United States, and the Olympic champions Kazakova and Dmitriev are in third place. They will be first to skate. We saw them miss their attempt at the quad throw in the technical program.
Well, it was certainly an exciting moment during that technical program. Maybe the most surprising aspect of that performance was the fact that they were so not in sync, and let's hope that they can regroup here and deliver a more solid performance.
Again, they're skating a program they've skated many times before, so they should be comfortable. Triple toe loop.
That was one of those falls that makes you grab your hip. Just looked like that really hurt when she made contact with the ice.
She had absolutely no control in the air, and I'm wondering if the red lights, the red wash, has affected her, because it's a very difficult color to jump in.
We have heard from backstage Ilya Kulik saying that's why he had to double all his jumps in his skate tonight.
Entrance into what is usually a throw triple Salchow for this team, but having the mistake on the throw triple toe, probably decided to play it safe and turn that into a double.
Winners of this event 2 years ago, Oksana Kazakova and Artur Dimitriev.
If reading her body language is any indication of how she feels about this performance, she's not very happy with it at all, although she's going to put a smile on as they take their curtain call here.
I think the fall on this throw was impossible to recover from, but look, she seems completely out of control there, and the reason why red is so difficult to jump in is because for some reason it affects your depth of field and you lose track of where you are. I think that may have affected her.
Now, theatrical lighting is not new to this competition. Why is it seemingly a problem this year?
It seems at this event the saturation of the color is much greater. All the colors are richer and harder to see in. but they have so many wonderful and unusual elements.
And I'm also wondering whether their performance here is affected by the fact that Tamara Moscovina, who's been with this team for so long, is not physically here with them at this competition.
And again, she was off ice for 5 months after a concussion late in the tour last year. Artur not anxious to wait around for the artistic marks, but they are better. Broke the 9.7 and the 9.9. 195.4 is the total score for this team. Well, here's Jenny Mino and Todd Sand. They are competing in their first World Pro event, in second place after the technical program, and getting set to skate this program for only the second time.
They have not been particularly comfortable at this event. They have not had a lot of experience competing as professionals.
And when you add to that a program that's brand new, it certainly creates a challenging situation. Most unusual mistake on an element that I would never have anticipated them having any difficulty with. Back outside death spiral, and she just simply gives into it and loses it.
It's the kind of mistake you make when you're not thinking about exactly that moment that you're in. She may have been thinking about a move 30 seconds from now instead. You can never stop thinking about exactly what you're doing. Then I will see the love you don't feel when you're holding me. Morning will come and I'll do what's right. Just give me until then to give up this fight. And I will give up this fight. I can't make you love me. She turned what should have been a throw double axel into a single. Jenny is clearly not herself in this performance.
Well, she did talk about being nervous after the technical program, and another edgy performance by Mino and Sand in their World Pro debut.
Confidence plays such a big role in any given performance, and although Kazakova and Dimitriev didn't skate clean, Jenny and Todd didn't skate clean, Kazakova and Dimitriev gave you the feeling that no matter what, make a mistake or not, a degree of confidence is being exuded throughout the performance, and this performance didn't have that.
And here's the death spiral. Watch her left hip just release. I mean, this is just simply lack of concentration.
What may seem like a simple move, you can never take for granted.
There's their coach, John Nix, who guided them to 3 podium placements at the World Amateur level. And the technical marks dropped below, which is 9.6 from Paul Duchesne.
Ooh, and the audience is letting him know what they think of that.
Shoes on the other foot for Paul now. And the artistic marks are 7s and 8s. That means the total score is 194.8, which drops them behind Kazakova and Dimitriev. Well, the door is certainly wide open for the defending World Pro champions, Leonova and Havolko, who won without their best skate last year, and they're determined to finish with a more impressive performance here tonight.
You can't have a more impressive piece of music to skate to than Ravel's Bolero.
Known as the classic piece from Torvill and Dean, they have a lot to live up to. This program is choreographed by ice dancer Alexander Julin.
Major element, throw double axel.
Gorgeous.
Followed up with an excellent set of side-by-side double axels.
Lift they called a tree.
Of the performances from the pair teams here tonight so far, this was the most confident, the cleanest, and most difficult that we've seen to this point.
It was spectacular. The audience is on their feet.
Yes, we're used to standing ovations for Bolero, but perhaps the first time for Leonova and Ivalco.
I don't think there's a doubt in anyone's mind in this building that this is the winning performance here tonight.
Their moves are spectacular. And everything they do is so exact.
The technical marks.
And they accomplished that goal of finishing stronger than a year ago. Look at the marks. Just to put in perspective what a remarkable story it is, they started skating together 3 years after Artur Dimitriev had already won an Olympic gold medal. But now they are on top. Repeat winners at the world professional level. And look at the 10s.
Fantastic.
10, 9.9, 10.
Well, it was bold to select Bolero,
10.
but they certainly live up to the history of that piece. So a sweet repeat for Leonova and Ivalco. Kazakova and Dimitriev finish in second place. Mino and Sand in their World Pro debut are third.
Elena, Andre, congratulations, your second consecutive World Figure Skating Championship title. You took to the ice. We saw your face, Elena. You looked very nervous. Was there something in particular you were concerned about before you started this performance?
Well, actually, yes. It's few elements I was really concerned about. It's pro double axel, because on the warm-up it was kind of shaky. And, of course, side-by-side double axel. It's always. But pretty much, I was trying to come down. It's not like I was nervous. I actually want to come down so I can feel like I'm skating on the show, not in competition.
The most after the technical programs. The only woman to receive perfect 10s, Lucinda Roux, the Swiss champion, in her first pro appearance.
She's also the only skater to receive a standing ovation. This program to Alanis Morissette's Mercy Prayer Cycle is choreographed by Olympic champion Robin Cousins.
First jump, triple toe loop.
Too bad. Her performance in the technical program was magical. And I think that her lack of experience actually may have affected her today. Because she was so excited about how well she performed that I think it was difficult for her to come back up again and live up to that. Incredible spins.
Well, regardless of the placement, she has left an impression at her first World Pros.
And regardless of the mistakes, she is mesmerizing.
I don't know if I'll ever do a how-to video. The only mistake in this program was the fall here on this triple toe attempt. But in terms of the art of spinning, this program gave you everything you need to see. The costume enabled you to see the body positions exacting, uncluttered by any feathers or skirt. And she hit every spin I think that's possible. And each one of them, what amazed me was she stepped in and she was immediately centered. Not an inch of travel in any of her spins.
And she also brought a level of sophistication to this event that is refreshing. She's an engaging young woman. She is fluent in 4 languages. She grew up in Japan, and one of the languages, Japanese.
There's another 10 from Paul Duchesne for artistic impression. So quite a performance for Lucinda Roux, 196.1. She'll finish ahead of Saria Bonley in this competition. Nicole Bobek, a bronze medalist in this event 2 years ago when it was open. Now it's strictly professional, and she is a full-fledged pro in her first year of professional status and within reach of the title here in second place after the technical program.
She is very capable of winning this event. She is well trained and in shape. She just needs to do it. Triple Lutz.
Sandra, can we draw a parallel to Rudy Galindo in that she is terrific at capturing an audience, and yet she's chosen a similar type of program to that of Galindo?
You just read my mind.
it would be great to see Nicole find the last piece to the puzzle, so to speak, that enables her to skate a clean performance, for she has all the other qualities that one needs to become a winner. She's one of those skaters who with 3 good strokes can be flying across the ice, has wonderful flow, grace, beautiful to watch. There's just one piece that's not quite there yet.
She is obviously disappointed. She has been skating well in practice, and as you said, Paul, that one piece is missing, and it's that intangible of being able to take what you can do in practice and put it on the ice in performance. And that's what separates the truly great skaters from the rest.
This was the Lutz attempt, under-rotated, and on a lean, and that combination spells fall almost every time.
When a Michelle Kwan or a Christy Yamaguchi or a Tara Lipinski steps on the ice, there is no doubt that they will skate cleanly.
Now training in Florida, Carrie Leach, the Canadian, and Peter Barna helping her out. Toss out the 9, 7, and 8, and the rest are 8s. Tough luck injury-wise the last couple of years, and that prompted the decision to go pro, and maybe the training would not be as intense. She shows a lot of potential, though. 196.4 puts her in the lead with only 1 skater to go. That skater, the leader after the technical program, Yuka Sato, who has won this event before and been runner-up twice. Interesting story here is the music. Janet Lynn also skated to this music.
It's Debussy's Afternoon at the Fawn, and it was a classic piece skated by Janet Lynn 30 years ago. Those of us who watched that program still remember the choreography. And when Yuka found out that Janet was here to judge, she panicked and wanted to change programs but had no alternative. So she's offering this up as a gift to Janet.
Opens with a very solid triple loop jump. She was hoping for on the exit of that triple toe jump.
Yuka once again is in a class by herself in this event. Opening was a beautiful triple loop jump. But it's not just about jumps. It's about edge quality, flow, feeling.
And the attention to detail. You can freeze frame Yuka in almost any position, and there's an exquisite degree of extension in every free arm, the free leg, landing of the spin, exiting of a spin, landing of a jump. It's always there.
There's her husband and sometimes pairs partner, Jason Dungeon. And going back to Nicole Bobek, as you mentioned, the consistency that's expected.
Yuka did not have that consistency as an eligible competitor, and yet she has learned it as a professional.
Great technical marks, 9 9s from the entire panel. And that's the same story artistically. And so she once again is the World Pro Champion for the second time, and it turns out to be a decisive victory for Yuka Sato. Nicole Bobek is second, Lucinda Rue third, and then Surya Bonley as Yuka Sato celebrates another World Pro title.
Yuka, congratulations, your second title. It's been 5 years between the two. Is the second one as sweet?
Sure it was. I had a great time out there, and it was great.
The program looked comfortable. It had a solid degree of technical difficulty. You had a little bit of trouble with the one jump, but did the rest of it go as you'd hoped it would?
I think it was good under the pressure. I think I put a little bit of pressure on myself today for some reason. It's always hard when you have to go to win, and I knew it was possible for me, so I kind of tried a little bit too hard in an emotional way, and that made me to shake a little bit.
We're back with some final thoughts from the 2000 World Professional Figure Skating Championships on Royal Bank Magic on Ice. And Sandra, as an award-winning choreographer, interested to hear your thoughts on some of the programs we saw tonight.
In the past, this used to be the only event where professionals could compete, and as a result, when we set out to choreograph a number, we tried to cover all our bases with equal parts artistry, entertainment value, as well as technical ability. But these days, the skaters have so many opportunities to compete that I think the entertainment value has taken over, and as a result, they're using props and gimmicks that for me, in a judge situation, becomes confusing.
And Paul, it's interesting to note the judges presented 4 perfect 10s to a pair that kept it simple.
Leonova and Hnavalko took to the ice with no gimmicks, no props, a great piece of music, skated magnificently and go home victorious. And they showed everyone that you can be effective, you can be a winner with basic skating.
Any other personal highlights?
Lucinda Rue's spins. So often we spend so much attention on jumps, and it was so refreshing to see someone come out with incredible spinning technique and perform in an inspired way.
Paul?
Ilya Kulik, like Lucinda, focused on one thing, and his focus was the choreography of his program. It was great to see such dedication, time, and energy go into each and every step, and made for a wonderful performance.